In 1977, two strange underwater sounds were recorded. Their frequency was low, but the amplitude was very large. These sounds were detected by the radar of the U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA. Surprisingly, the same sounds were also recorded by other radars 5,000 kilometers away. After some calculations, the location of these sounds was estimated, and it was found that they originated from a very remote area of the South Pacific Ocean. At that time, these sounds were named the bloop, and research began to figure out what caused these eerie noises. Initially, it was thought that the sounds came from a massive creature, as no known phenomenon in the area could account for it. For many years, it was believed that a gigantic sea creature lived beneath the ocean in that region. However, after 2012, NOAA changed its stance and stated that the sounds recorded in 1977 were likely generated by the movement of glaciers, a phenomenon known as glacial movement. Despite this explanation, the true cause remains uncertain. The exact location where the sounds were recorded has become notable for another reason. This part of the South Pacific Ocean is so remote that it is often referred to as the oceanic pole of inaccessibility, or Point Nemo. This spot is about 2,688 kilometers away from the nearest landmass, which is Antarctica. The nearest inhabited landmass is Chile's coastal area, about 3,334 kilometers away, while New Zealand lies 4,700 kilometers in the other direction. Because of its extreme remoteness, Point Nemo is considered the most desolate and isolated part of the world. Interestingly, the closest humans to Point Nemo are often not on Earth but aboard the International Space Station, ISS, which occasionally passes 400 kilometers above this location. Despite being so isolated, Point Nemo is not without purpose. This location serves as a graveyard for broken satellites, spacecraft, and rocket debris. With no need to seek permission from any country, international space agencies have been using this location as a spacecraft dumping ground. Since Point Nemo lies in international waters, there are no ownership claims, allowing different space agencies to drop their spacecraft debris here without restriction. In 2001, Russia decommissioned its Mir space station by guiding it into this region, where it burned up upon re-entry. Since then, Point Nemo has continued to serve as the final resting place for many space objects. Over the last few decades, more than 260 spacecraft have been discarded here. Soon, the ISS itself will also be decommissioned and brought down to Point Nemo, with NASA estimating its lifespan will end by 2030. Satellite and spacecraft decommissioning is necessary because, once they outlive their purpose, they become a potential hazard. If left in orbit uncontrolled, they could crash back to Earth unpredictably, posing serious risks. An infamous case occurred in 1978 when the Soviet satellite Cosmos 954 malfunctioned and uncontrollably re-entered Earth's atmosphere, scattering radioactive material across northern Canada. Fortunately, no human casualties resulted from this incident, but it highlighted the dangers of leaving old satellites in orbit. To prevent such disasters, decommissioned spacecraft are carefully guided down to remote locations like Point Nemo, where the risk of harm is minimal. This practice ensures that any remaining debris burns up in the atmosphere or safely lands in a desolate ocean area. The name, Nemo, is derived from Latin, meaning, no one, which suits the location perfectly as it is devoid of human presence and marine life due to the harsh environmental conditions. The area around Point Nemo is characterized by extremely low levels of nutrients, preventing most sea creatures from surviving in its waters. This, combined with its isolation from major shipping routes, ensures that Point Nemo remains one of the quietest and least disturbed places on the planet. Despite its desolation, Point Nemo continues to intrigue scientists, and future research might finally uncover the mysteries behind the strange sounds recorded